Welcome again to Reviews from Purgatory with J. Matt Wigand. This time around I'm reviewing Strange Days. A pretty damn good sci-fi flick. So let's get to it. So, years before noseless Ralph Fiennes, friend boy with glasses and a wand, he played Lenny Nero in Strange Days. Now, Lenny Nero is kind of an interesting character, and the story here is about this ex-cop who is now involved in what is called wire tripping. It's interesting new technology, and it's pretty much the only thing that makes this a sci-fi movie. This was filmed in '95, and it's about the turn of the millennium, so it's only set a few years into the future. And as such, the only new thing is this device. It basically records people's experiences, all their emotions, their sensations, their thoughts, I suppose, as they experience something, and it's recorded. And someone else can then experience these recorded experiences, which is a hell of an intoxicating effect. So there's a black market for it, and that is what Lenny Nero deals in. So, as this is the world he deals in, he ends up getting involved in something really dark, which is the central story of the whole movie. Basically, someone was using this thing to record experiences when something really dark happened, and that tape is out there somewhere, and a lot of people are interested in it. So you've got a lot of big names associated with this movie. You've got Catherine Bigelow, who directed The Hurt Locker and Point Break also, and you've got the movie being produced by James Cameron, and of course the screenplay is written by James Cameron and Jay Cox. And just about everyone in the cast is pretty recognizable. You go, like I said, Ralph Fiennes as Lenny Nero. You've got Angela Bassett as Lornette Mason. They just call her Mace most of the movie. Just like Juliette Lewis as Faith and Tom Sizemore as Max. I mean, yeah, they have last names, but how often do you say them in the movie? And like a lot of the other secondary characters, you'll have recognized them from something. I mean, you've got Vincent D'Onofrio and William Fichtner as the two corrupt cops. The characters definitely make this movie. And obviously the key one is Lenny Nero himself. He is a weak guy. And, I mean, like, you see him get his ass kicked a couple times. He's not this really big tough guy. And he's pretty sleazy. He likes talking his way out of situations, if he can. And at the same time, he is still likable. See, he has enough good traits that he doesn't come off really terrible. He's still very likable as a character. You know, like there's a moment where he gives a friend of his a tape, record memory of him running on the beach, and that guy has lost both his legs. So there's like sweet things like that, or like him in the flashback when he first met Mace. Things like that, and just kind of his actions in the present, you realize he's not a great... I mean, he is a good guy underneath it all. He's not great, he's not hero of the year or something, but you'll like this character. So, certainly, Lenny Nero is the main character, and three other main characters kind of orbit around him. You got Mace, Faith, and Max. Max, his ex-partner, is now a security guard and is pretty key in pushing the mystery forward, as he still has connections on the force that Nero no longer has. And Faith is the object of Nero's obsession. It's one of his weaknesses. He is obsessed with this woman, Faith, who's really kind of a skank. She's pretty scuzzy, and yet he is obsessed with her and lives in old memories of old memories of being with her and so on. And whenever she is remotely in trouble, he's eager to help. He needs to get back in there and save her. And since the woman who brings all of the dark shit to his attention, Iris, said Faith was in trouble, of course, Lenny springs into action and everything starts tumbling. Now, Mace has been his best friend for quite a long time, and she clearly loves him. Like, beyond friendship, but he doesn't pick up on that. And at the same time, she's willing to call him on his shit, which really makes her an awesome character. And she just doesn't like seeing him destroy himself. And at the same time isn't willing to abandon him either. A few quick miscellaneous things about the movie. I love how it uses jargon. You really get the sense that the wire trip thing is real because there's like colloquial terms for it. Jacked in, playback, wired in, wire tripped, blackjack, which is when the person in the experience dies. I'd also say that it has a pretty damn good mystery that gets unraveled. A strong soundtrack. Quite a few great villains floating around in this. It's like there's a lot of dark figures floating around the main characters. And it's got quite a few good twists. It's a long movie, has a lot to say, but it's still good. So, you appreciate this movie a bit more if you really were around to see two key events of the 90s. If you remember them at least a bit. The LA riots and the millennium. Alright, the LA riots, certainly this whole movie's set in LA, and it's clear, you've got military troops on the street and so on. People think there's going to be another LA riots in this movie at the turn of the millennium, that something big's going to happen. And to be honest, that tape has something which could trigger that. And you really can believe it if you experienced the LA riots, if you remember seeing it on TV as a kid, or hell, if you grew up in LA and would remember it. And then the millennium. Look, we all could pretend that we weren't really afraid of the approaching millennium, but there was like a sense that we were approaching something as we got closer and closer to the year 2000. And this movie plays on that too. It plays on our fear of the future. And that's kind of something I want to say as I wrap this whole thing up. Basically, this movie is really dark. It's really graphic at times, but that creates a great realism. And you need that because when you get to that big moment of light at the end, it fits. And it really helps if you remember that time as we were approaching the millennium. We're afraid of the future, and that's what the millennium was doing to us. As it approached, we were all like, well, maybe something will happen. Everyone was always joking, maybe it's the end of the world and all that. We did kind of feel maybe something big was going to change and it would be bad. But at the same time, hope lives in the future too. That's where it lives. We can look at the future with fear or hope or a mixture of both. And I think that's kind of the underlying message in this movie. And I think you'll enjoy it. This is the first sci-fi flick I'm really doing. I did all those horror flicks to show you which classics were worth seeing or not. And anyway, I was thinking I should probably have some sort of new weird scales for sci-fi flicks, just like I have for horror films, but maybe I'll just not do that. I did have an idea that you could have two scales, one with realism and one with wonder. Realism being how authentic your universe feels, or if it really feels like it's a set with styrofoam rocks. And wonder being how interesting the ideas presented are, if they're kind of profound, like the kind of thing you saw once in a while on Star Trek, you know? But, you know, I'll keep thinking. Maybe I'll come up with some scales, or maybe I won't. As a movie, it's a solid 7. Maybe there's a few things holding it back. The acting's not great in some places. Maybe it's a little over-the-top feeling sometimes. But it's a great movie. I really think you should check it out. So, this movie was a big flop at the box office. It made about 7 million domestic, a couple more million internationally, and cost 42 million to make. So the question this time is, what is your favorite movie that was a flop at the box office? Mine is Dark City, which just barely made back the money it cost to make.
Have you ever jacked in? Have you ever wire tripped?
No.
Oh, a virgin brain. Good. Good. Well, we're going to start you off right, okay? Just tell me, just save us some time. Tell me what you know.
Just what I've read, that the technology was developed for the feds to replace the body wire, and now it's gone black market.
That's right, so this conversation's not taking place, okay?
You're damn right it's not.
Good, good.
So, do I get the deck from you?
I'll set you up. I'll get you a deck at my car, since my thing is the software.
Clips, right?
Clips, right. Now listen, I want you to know what we're talking about here, okay? This is not like TV, only better. This is life. It's a piece of somebody's life. It's pure and uncut. It's straight from the cerebral cortex. I mean, you're there, you're doing it, you're seeing it, you're hearing it, you're feeling it.
What kind of things, exactly?
Exactly anything. It's whatever you want, whoever you want to be, okay? I mean, you want to go skiing without leaving your den, you can, but I'm assuming that a guy like you want to go skiing, you fly to Aspen. That's not what you're interested in here. It's about the stuff that you can't have, right? The forbidden fruit, Like running into a liquor store with a .357 Magnum in your hand, feeling the adrenaline pumping through your veins, huh? Or, you see that guy over there with the drop-dead Filipino girlfriend? Wouldn't you let it be that guy for 20 minutes? The right 20 minutes? Yeah, and I can make it happen, and you won't even tarnish your wedding ring.
Sounds good.
See, I can get you what you want. I can get you anything. You just have to talk to me. You have to trust me, okay? Trust me. Because I'm your priest. I'm your shrink. I am your main connection to the switchboard of the souls. I'm the magic man. Santa Claus is the subconscious. You say it. You think it.